Chris Hensley is a registered representative of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisor representative, Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Houston First Financial Group are not affiliated.
The Houston Midtown chapter of the Society for Financial Awareness presents Money Matters with your host, Christopher Hensley.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Money Matters on KPFT. It is Friday. It is 11 a.m. Have a great show lined up for you today. If you have been listening, all the way since November of last year, you have heard me talk about Houston Money Week. We've been talking it up as we've been kind of ramping and getting closer to it. Well, guess what? We are here. We are in April. Once again, Houston Money Week 2018. And so we have with us here live in the studio Erika Jones, who is with the Federal Reserve and also part of the Houston Money Week leadership team. So usually I'll do kind of a calendar at this point and spend about 5 minutes kind of telling you what's going on in the Houston and Gulf Coast region when it comes to financial literacy. That is probably going to be the bulk of the show today because we have so many things going on today. So without further ado, let me get Erika. Can you hear me there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you for joining us. And let me tell listeners just a little bit about you. Now, you are the Public Affairs Specialist with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas.
Houston branch.
Houston branch. Even though we say Dallas, it is the Houston branch that's located on Allen Parkway.
Yes.
Right about 5 minutes away from here. Tell us a little bit about what you do for them.
Gosh, so I've been at the Federal Reserve for 9 years, and my position in communications and outreach basically focuses primarily on those two things, communications and outreach. So I do it both internally and externally. So while Houston Money Week is a large portion of my job responsibility, I do have another part of my job that includes things like internal events. So we help to provide financial literacy tools and resources to our own employees. As well as anything in-house that would be, district or system related in terms of CNO. I've also been the editor of the employee newsletter and things like that. So it's a lot of different parts and pieces to it, but I absolutely love what I do. And Houston Money Week is my heart. It is the thing that brings the joy on a daily basis.
So absolutely. So the Houston Money Week piece, now the Fed they've been a partner kind of right there from the beginning.
Yes.
But can you tell, for Houstonians who aren't familiar with what Houston Money Week is, and you're
Sure.
also part of the Houston Money Week leadership team, can you tell us a little bit about what Houston Money Week is?
Sure. So Houston Money Week is we say week-long financial literacy or financial education program, but really and truly, we celebrate the entire month. So from April 1st through April 30th, we allow our over 140 partners to host events and activities that are free for the public throughout the city. And so we spend, a great number of months, probably the rest of the year, planning for this month alone to ensure that we are providing all types of financial education opportunities. And so we've been doing it. This is our 10th year. It's our 10th anniversary. We are super excited. We've got some extra special things planned for this year. And right now we have, I believe last count this morning was 163 events on the books. So we're almost to our 200 kind of number, but quality versus quantity, right? So we have some really great things planned throughout the month. And considering that this is day 6, we've already had 6 days worth of events going on. So
wow.
It's pretty cool.
Wow. So it's amazing. So one of the things you just mentioned, this is actually the 10-year anniversary. It's kind of our 10-year birthday here.
It is. Happy birthday.
For Houston Money Week. But how has it changed from when it first got started to now? You mentioned 163 events to date. Yes. For this year, and we expect more to come in before the end of the month. How has it changed?
Gosh, it's snowballed. I think it caught fire. So originally, we were called Money Week Houston, and we were actually we're considered a sister campaign of Money Smart Week, which is a national campaign that was birthed from the Federal Reserve Bank in Chicago. And so we kind of took that model, their mission, their vision, and we decided that we liked that, but we wanted to have our own name and our own logo and have kind of our own structure internally. And so that's how Money Week Houston, now Houston Money Week, was born. And so that was, like I said, 10 years ago. We had, I believe, 32 partners on board, but we only really had 2 days worth of events. Like, it was just a baby, and we were just getting started with that. We have completely morphed into what we are now. So 2 days into 30 days, I mean, it's a gigantic leap from what we've been able to accomplish. But the one thing that remains the same is our mission and our vision. The mission is always free financial education and literacy for Houstonians. The vision has kind of scoped out to include not just Houston, but last year we served 10 counties.
Wow.
So we had events in 10 counties surrounding the Houston area.
Now, when you mentioned that we started with just 32 partners, what are we up to now?
So we had 142 last year.
Wow.
I think we're probably still about that number, maybe a little bit closer to 150. But that's where we've been hovering for the last 3 years on average, is about 140.
So other Houstonians that hear this, not even just wanting to go to the events, but if they say, how can I get involved? What can I do to help with this? What kind of organizations are involved?
Gosh, everybody. So you have, of course, financial institutions. They're on board. Hi, banks. We appreciate you. And then we also have nonprofits. We have the library system. We also have school districts. So HISD is a big partner with us as well. We also do a lot of work with other types of organizations, so maybe not nonprofit, but some real estate. We have real estate agents that are on board. We have some life insurance persons that are on board. So it is a mixed group of people that all come to the table. But again, mission is still the same: free financial education and literacy.
It kind of touches all of these different areas in Houston. I know last week we had Jackie Aguilera, who's also a partner here, and she talked about adult literacy and what we are doing in that space with scholarships. You mentioned HISD. For students, what else is out there that Houston Money Week is involved in?
So every year, Houston Money Week has offered a student essay contest. This contest is for middle and high school students in the greater Houston area. So not just with HISD, we're branching out to all the school districts as well as homeschools. So those that are getting homeschooled, they still could apply for that contest. Now, I'm sorry to say the winners have already been selected, so that contest is over. But it is something that we do highlight every year, and we give away $3,500 in scholarships with that contest alone. But another thing that we offer with students is, in the past, we've done junior achievement. So we had JA in a day. This year, we're actually getting more involved with Lemonade Day. So we have some workshops coming up to help support those young entrepreneurs who want to be a part of Lemonade Day. But we try to offer as many things as possible. Last year, we had a financial literacy book club that we did for middle school students, 7th graders. And that was a really nice event that we put on last year. But we have lots of different opportunities for students. Absolutely.
Well, I love that. The one that we did last year, the 7th graders actually got to take the books home.
Yes.
And you had one of the publishers reached out to one of the publishers,
yes,
and they were able to help out as well.
That was an awesome opportunity for us to really extend our reach. We chose a book that was fiction and would identify with middle schoolers. It was about a middle schooler and some of the things that he was dealing with his home life and school life. But it had a lot of financial topics, undertones, about saving money, or, what happens when you have a grandparent who takes sick and they have to come live with you. Now the money changes again. And one of the parents was a real estate broker. They had some issues with the housing market. And so they talk about the money surrounding that. So it was a really great opportunity for us to combine not only what's happening in classrooms with English and reading on that level, but also with the math. So we got to combine those two things. So it was really nice.
I love it. 10 years ago, if we said, well, which schools are we in? It would be one or two different schools. Now,
Yes.
all of them.
Yes.
Universities, high school, elementary.
Absolutely. Yes. And we cannot forget our colleges and university partners. We're really excited to have, I believe, 7 on board with us this year.
Wow.
And they are all hosting events and activities. University of Houston is actually hosting their activity tomorrow at the Bauer School of Business. They do a financial symposium every year, and they have about 300 to 500 students to show up. I'm pretty sure there's extra credit being thrown around there. But we send Ben Franklin. The Cougars mascot comes out. We have, all types of giveaways and things that they can do, but it's from 9 to 1 at the Bauer School. So we really appreciate our partnership with U of H, and they've always done a wonderful job of hosting that event.
I love it. I love it. So many different things. So I'm going to pivot just a little bit because we were talking about the schools, but there's something new that we added this year that we didn't do in the prior years that is having to do with the art car parade. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm so excited. Thank you for bringing that up. So this year we are super excited to honor our 10th year by having an art car in this year's art car parade. Our art car is going to be unique and nothing like you've ever seen before. It is a hot pink 1971 VW Beetle who is transformed into a piggy bank. And so not only will we have the piggy bank rolling down the street, it will be accompanied by Ben Franklin and maybe a couple of other dressed up characters. But we're really excited to participate. One of our lovely partners, Ricky Jimenez with Allegiance Bank, has championed this activity. He has done such an awesome job of getting the car ready and helping us to come up with this idea. So I really appreciate him for taking the lead on this, because at once it was just a thought like, that'd be interesting, and it really took on life. And so he really helped to bring that forward.
So Ricky is putting blood, sweat, and tears
Absolutely.
in this.
Absolutely.
I remember as it was going around the leadership committee, there were pictures of maybe no floorboard at one point, or am I
oh, no, that's true.
Okay.
That's very true. So he put in a lot of work, so we really appreciate that. But the Art Car Parade is on April the 14th, and it starts at 2 p.m. right there on Allen Parkway. We'll go down Allen Parkway and make a loop and come back. But you are going to see a lot of cars, but I'm sure the only piggy bank in town.
So that's right down the street from the Federal Reserve.
Yes,
that
it is.
Passes right by there. So that's one of these citywide events that was kind of already going on, but now we are partnering with them. That's new. What other events like that are we a partner with that are already being held, I guess?
Sure. So that was one of the outreach events. If anyone attended the Houston Hispanic Forum's Career and Education Day back in February, we had a booth there as well. So that's an outreach opportunity for us to be able to touch students and parents around the city. They get such a large attendance that we couldn't miss that opportunity to reach them, as well as the Houston Children's Festival, which is going to be this weekend. We have had a booth there. I believe this is our 4th year. And we have a booth on Nonprofit Row, along with a bunch of other organizations that are all there to give you free information about what's coming up, some of the events that are coming up, especially highlighting family friendly, so that if you want to go to a class about money, your kid will have something to do there as well. And we give out, free things and stickers and pens and pencils and all kinds of good stuff, coloring books. It's pretty awesome.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed, no rain.
So here's the sad part about this is that the last 2 years we've gotten rained out at least one of the 2 days. I'm hopeful that if it does rain, that it's not going to rain us out, but just a temporary
At least maybe one of the two. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. But we'll still be there nonetheless, rain or shine. So we hope to see you out there.
So these are major events, big citywide events going on. Talk a little bit more about the local events that are going on during Money Week. I know that if people go out to the website and they put their zip code in, they can actually find out, what's going on in my zip code, what's available out there. But what are some examples of different types of events or seminars or workshops?
Sure. So we have a little bit of everything. What we've tried to do is cover any aspect of financial issue or subject matter. So if you're interested in budgeting and saving, we have something for that. If you want to talk about investing or small business or entrepreneurship, we can talk about that. We also have a few home buyer workshops. We have something for the kids for Lemonade Day. We have, all types of events. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, in that same search engine, when you go to HoustonMoneyWeek.org, into the calendar, you can type in, housing, and it'll show you a list of what classes have housing opportunities that they talk about.
So all different types of classes out there available for people. Now, I know we talked about this being the 10-year anniversary, and it's kind of our birth, or a 10-year celebration.
Yes.
But there's also a theme that was going on this year. I know Jackie had mentioned this about the actual topic of the essay contest.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So the student essay contest and the adult literacy essay contest, they both had a topic that focused on financial preparedness in times of natural disasters. So, as you know, the Houston area was really devastated by Hurricane Harvey, as well as other flood events. It was not the only one. So we have to be aware that flood events happen in Houston more often than we want to admit, I believe. And so this year, the questions were focused on, financial preparedness in the time of a natural disaster. And so we are asking the students and the adults to give us some examples or suggestions on what tools should be out there to help people be better prepared. We want to focus less on always coming up with recovery efforts and focus more on how do we prepare in case of emergencies.
Kind of being proactive there, not
Absolutely.
having a plan B just in case.
Exactly. Like, let's prepare, let's have the plan A and see, how much better off will we be having the plan A.
Does not hurt being in the Gulf Coast region. This is a thing. It's a way of life all the time. So
Yes.
so this is extremely important to us here in the Gulf Coast region. What other types of events besides just the educational events are going on?
Sure. So, let's talk about quadrant events. Let's go there first. So, Houston Money Week for the last 2 years has broken down into quadrant events. Excuse me, where basically we've taken the city and broken it off into 4 quadrants. The idea is that our partners will work together in order to have an event that is available for the community in that area of town. So if you don't go to anything else, you'll be able to go to this one event that offers something, for everyone, children and adults alike, but it will be the nonstop shop, not one-stop shop. So there you go. So you have those different opportunities. So one of our quadrant events this year is going to be with, it's hosted by BB&T Bank and the Urban League, and they're going to have it out at the Palm Center on Griggs Road. It's called Cash Right, Credit Ready. And that event is going to be on, let's see, what day is that event? That event is coming up, towards the end of the month, so it should be on the 21st. And that event is really geared towards having all of the partners come together and provide different types of resources available to them in order to help, like I said, the community can come out, get whatever they need, and go about their day. But basically, they can get all of the financial tools that they need in that one spot. Same thing will be happening on the north side. So we also have Baker Ripley, the Lionel Castillo Center, is going to have an event. Same concept, but that event is going to be on the 21st as well at 10 o'clock from 10 to 2. And it's a family-friendly vendor fair with financial workshops. Same idea. So you have opportunities to go to vendor tables and do the resources and get their resources, as well as attend smaller workshops that have targeted event topics. Same setup, different name, will be on Saturday, April the 28th, which will be Let's Get Money Smart. And that event will be at Brentwood Baptist Church's Lifelong Learning Center. And again, same situation. You can go meet with vendors, get the resources, as well as go to mini workshops about particular topics.
So it's bringing all of these seminars and educational events to these different areas of Houston, just all over. One of the things you mentioned, the very first one you said, well, it's the Urban League and it's BB&C Bank. BB&C Bank, is that right? And so it's multiple partners. How does that work? I think that's one of the neatest things. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. So the key to all of this is collaboration. We can't do it without our partners, and the way that we are most successful is if we are collaborating. So we basically have, say, a team of anywhere between 5 and 10 partners who come together and say, I can offer X, Y, and Z towards this event in efforts of collaboration. So they come up with the topics, they come up with the name, they come up with, where they want to be, what they want to give away, or how they want to target their audience. And they basically build this car together and then they host it together. So the collaboration is the most beautiful part about Houston Money Week, the ability to network and work with all of these different types of organizations and really put together something that can be replicated, so they can do the exact same thing the following year and offer the same opportunities to Houstonians.
So you're not telling them this is where you got to go and this is what you got to do. It's a collaborative effort between all of these groups, kind of working together to come up with a neat idea.
Yes.
And then seeing it come to fruition.
Absolutely. So we do our very best to stay out of it. So leadership team just goes, okay, sounds good. Let's see what happens. But we try not to stick our hands into it because we want it to be organic to, the community that they're serving, to the services that they offer. And, hopefully they'll come up and create with something new and fun and something that people will enjoy attending. So you won't feel like you're sitting in a classroom taking notes. Ideally, it's more interactive, and there's definitely something to be gained from attending.
One of my favorite events last year was the 100 Teens.
Yes. Yes.
Is that going to happen again this year?
Yes. So 100 Teens is going to happen again. We will not have Magic Johnson like we did last year. That was a one-time deal. But that event, yes, is still going on, and it will happen again this year. So
tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So 100 Teens focuses on high school seniors that get an opportunity to come to the Federal Reserve. They will learn about the Federal Reserve and about what we do, but they also have an opportunity to learn about how to plan for the future. How do you plan for life, in college? How do you plan for life outside of college? What does it look like to budget? They play a game where basically they get a certain amount of money and they have to decide, what life choices are they going to make based on the budget they've been given. This year we will have a keynote speaker with Dr. Earl Suttle, who is the CEO and founder of a Leadership Success Institute in Atlanta. And so we're excited that he's agreed to come down and talk to our students. He's very energetic, and I'm sure they're going to be energetic as well in meeting him. But yeah, so it should be a good time. So we're looking more towards staying closer to the 100 mark. Typically 100 teens ends up being 200 to 300 teens. So we're going to do a better job about staying close to that number.
I know last year, one of the neatest things was listening to Magic Johnson speak.
Yes.
And then he surprisingly offered to send some of the students to LA, to California?
Yes. So one of the grand prizes that we had no idea he was going to do was a trip giveaway that one student won the opportunity to go to Los Angeles and hang out with Magic Johnson. They did, a tour with Starbucks and with the Dodgers Stadium and all types of things. So we were really excited that she was afforded the opportunity to go. And I actually reached out to them, yesterday saying, hey, it's been a year. Do you have any photos or videos that we could share with our students this year from that trip? Just so they can see, how did things go. So yeah, it's really cool.
I'm just smiling because that was a surprise. We didn't expect him to do that, and he just
He's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
That is pretty neat. What other, so we've got the quadrant events going on,
Sure.
We've got the 100 Teens, we've got the scholarship contests going on. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It is a lot, and that's not everything. So just imagine going to the website and kind of perusing through. The calendar is full upon full. So there are multiple events every day. I think we only might have 3 days that are blank, which are Sundays. Go figure. People are taking a day of rest. But aside from that, you can find something out there for yourself, for your children, for your family. We have a workshop that's just for married couples called Marital Bliss that will be happening over at the Kingdom Builders Center. Forgive me, I don't know the date, but you should go to the website so you can check it out for yourself. But so there's something for everybody. There should be no reason why you should not go.
So shameless plug here, but the website HoustonMoneyWeek.org.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I always in April. This Financial Literacy Month is always April every year, but there's also There's a tax deadline going on. Is there something that's related to taxes?
Absolutely. So every year we also partner with Baker Ripley has Vita Sites, and so we help to promote their Vita Sites as well because they offer free tax preparation from January until I think mid-April when the tax deadline is. We also have some organizations that do that exact same work out in Montgomery County. So if you are in Conroe or the Woodlands area and you need free tax preparation, we work with an organization called Children's Books on Wheels. So don't let the name deter you, but they do free tax preparation as well. So we have several organizations that are in that arena, and we help to promote them, and their events and the tax prep is also on the website.
So I'm glad Children's Books on Wheels, great organization. I'm glad you got to mention them because, yes, they do more than just the books on wheels.
They do more than just books on wheels. Yeah.
And that's out in Montgomery County, so that's a little bit further out. But that's kind of the scope. I mean, we've got all of these organizations here working together to get this free advice out, free tax preparation.
Yes.
I mean, that's incredible. What are you most looking forward to this year?
So besides the art car,
the art car for me as well. I'm wanting to say, but yes,
I know that's really exciting. So besides the art car, I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is what we've been doing to help build up young professionals and college students and what we're offering for them. So while our college and university partners do, their own thing, because of course the college students is their primary audience, we still have other opportunities as well. So on Thursday the 19th, we do have an event with the Houston Area Urban League Young Professionals, which is open to any young professionals. It is a free and open to the public event. You just have to register to attend. But it's called Know Your Money. We've done it for about 3 or 4 years, where we have a panel of presenters that come and talk about various topics. Last year, we focused on entrepreneurship and different types of entrepreneurship. So that was a wonderful, wonderful session and a great opportunity for young professionals to not only hear someone else's story, but ask questions in regards to their own lives and what small business and entrepreneurship really should look like. And so this year, it's focused more on having multiple income streams. And what do you do, with you have your first house, but now you want to get into real estate and flip houses? Or what do you do if you want to kind of increase, your limits and your boundaries in financial stability? What does that look like? So again, April 19th, that event will be at 6 o'clock at the Federal Reserve Bank, hosted by the Young Professionals Group. And you can register to attend. So even just networking at that age, that group, you never know where your next job's going to come from. Very true. Finding a mentor or even just a contact through one of these networking events is just building that network at an early age. So that's fantastic. That's huge. We're bumping towards the end of the show. What have I forgot to ask that we need to let listeners know about? Let's see. So it's just to be diligent. So the key here is to go out to the website, make a list of what it is that you want to go to and attend. Make sure if you have kids that there's something there for your child to do as well, because we want to be sure everybody's getting educated at this point. Everything is free and open to the public, so you should have no problems with that. Some of them require registration. It's more of a head count issue than anything else, but the rest of them don't. So you show up, you go, you get the free materials, free education. We have giveaways. There's some Ben Franklin t-shirts running around the city. We have piggy banks for kids, coloring books, pens, pencils, you name it. So we try to give things that will help inspire people to come out and spend that time with us. So absolutely. Well, Erika, thank you so much. We are right here at the end of the show. The website, one more time. HoustonMoneyWeek.org. There you go. And so you can visit us at the Art Car Parade. You can visit us at the Texas Children's Festival. Texas Children's Festival. All of these events. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Money Matters Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, visit us on the web at www.moneymatterspodcast.com.
drop us a line on SpeakPipe on the right-hand corner. It will receive any voicemails, questions, thoughts, concerns that you have about the show. In addition to this, we recently launched a Patreon campaign. Click on the Donate Now tab to hit the tip jar and find out what Patreon's campaign is all about.